Flamingos are drawn to the high desert plain of southwestern Bolivia and northern Chile, especially the rare James Flamingo. The plain is very dry, with an average altitude of over 12,000 feet. Millions of years ago, this area was under the ocean. It was pushed up by the collision of the tectonic plates that created the Andes Mountains. The Andes split into an east and west range in southern Peru. It is the high valley between these two ranges that is called the Altiplano Desert. The Altiplano Desert extends from southern Peru through Bolivia and into northern Chile and Argentina. The collision of the tectonic plates that created the Andes Mountains range has also created an active geothermal region with fumaroles, mud pots, hot pools, geysers, and active volcanoes. The area's biggest geysers are the El Tacio geysers at over 13,000 feet in northern Chile. They are spectacular at sunrise in the cold morning air. The wind-blown sand carves the sandstone rocks into unusual and dramatic shapes. This is the famous Árbol de Piedra, or stone tree, an amazing carving of the rock by wind-blown sand. None of the rain that falls into the Altiplano flows into any ocean. It is trapped in the high valley by the Andes Mountains. The little water that flows into the area dissolves the minerals in the ground and flows into the valley lakes, which evaporate into salt flats. Here in southwestern Bolivia is the largest salt flat in the world, the Salar de Uyuni. The area of the salt flat is over 4,000 square miles, or about half the size of New Jersey. The flats are so large and so flat that they are actually used to calibrate satellite instruments. Trucks and cars routinely drive across the salt flats, as it is often the shortest distance to the other side. The Salar de Uyuni is actually a salt cap floating on a lake of salt brine. The salt is between a few centimeters thick to 5 meters in the middle. The water is rich in lithium, and the lake is supposed to have 60 to 70% of the world's lithium reserves. Bolivia would like to be the Saudi Arabia of lithium. From the top of this island in the middle of the salt flats, you still can't see the edges of the salt, only the distant mountains. South of Salar de Uyuni are a lot of small alkaline lakes, many partially covered in salt. It is these lakes that are the real draw for the flamingos. Our objective is Laguna, Colorado, one of the favorite places of flamingos, and also for its unusual bright red color. But getting to the lagoons is not for the faint of heart. It is almost a full day's drive over the rough terrain from the nearest civilization. Most of the roads are unpaved dirt. The best are paths through the open desert sand. The worst are rutted, rocky, spine-jarring torture trails. This is Laguna, Colorado in the distance. You can start to see the brilliant red color. The flamingos of the Altiplano are extraordinary birds surviving at altitudes of 12 to 16,000 feet in the barren plain of the high-altitude desert. These high lakes freeze in the winter, so the flamingos have to migrate to lower lakes. It is now spring, and the high lakes are thawing and the flamingos are returning. Laguna, Colorado is an ideal place for breeding and food at an elevation of over 14,000 feet. We're here in Bolivia in Onda Lake. We're at a high altitude of about 4,500 meters. It's cold here at night, so the water freezes. That presents an interesting dilemma for the flamingos. The flamingos on the right are mostly stuck in the ice, and the ones on the left are free. It is not uncommon for flamingos to get frozen in place overnight. These flamingos are specially equipped to eat the algae and diatoms that thrive in these alkaline lakes. The flamingo is a filter feeder. They feed with their head upside down, and they have specialized bills that are designed to filter out small food particles in muddy water. The James Flamingo is especially adapted to feed on the very small diatoms found in these lakes. These flamingos are classified as near threatened, primarily due to the habitat loss because of the lakes drying up. The water level in the lakes are expected to drop due to climate change and water demands for mining. If you compare what we are currently seeing here at Laguna, Colorado, to the satellite imagery taken just a few years ago, you can see that the salt-covered areas have increased. In the spring, mating season is approaching and the flamingos arrive and prepare for nesting. As the flamingos arrive, they search for partners. Although the flamingos mate for life, for some of them, it is a tentative first encounter. Before breeding, the flamingos perform a synchronized group ritual, the mating dance. The ritual consists of gathering in a tight group, flagging their heads back and forth, and raising their heads up and down, and walking together. This is a small group in Laguna Blanco doing the mating dance. Here is an unusually large group at Laguna Honda, but they can't quite seem to get their act together simultaneously. Back to Laguna, Colorado. This small group performs the synchronized display, while most of the group continues to feed. It was very cold this morning. Looked like there was some ice left on the lake. We traveled to Bolivia, hoping to see flamingos doing their mating dance. We were rewarded with much more. We got a dramatic adventure in the wonders of nature in this high-altitude world, including hydrothermals, the largest salt flats anywhere, stunning scenery, and of course, the flamingos.